Welcome. Tonight, you don't need to solve anything. You don't need to remember names or dates. You don't even need to stay awake. This is a quiet place, a slow place, where time moves gently and nothing is asked of you. If your thoughts wander, that's perfectly fine. If sleep arrives early, that's even better. For now, simply listen and let the night do the rest. Tonight, you are not here to learn or to focus or to stay awake. You are simply here to rest. So allow your breathing to slow and allow your thoughts to drift as we quietly step into another place and another time. We will not follow kings, soldiers, or great events. Instead, we will gently visit the life of someone history rarely remembers. An ordinary villager living in rural Portugal in the early 1700s. There is no rush here. There are no schedules, no glowing screens, and no distant traffic. Only the steady rhythm of nature. It is still night. Long before sunrise, a small stone house sits beside a dirt path at the edge of a valley. Olive trees surround it, their twisted trunks older than anyone living in the village. The soft wind moves through their leaves, creating a faint whispering sound in the darkness. Inside, the family sleeps. They lie on simple straw mattresses, covered with wool blankets. The floor is hard-packed earth, cool beneath bare feet. The windows are closed by wooden shutters, and only a faint line of moonlight slips through a narrow crack in the wood. The first sound of morning is not an alarm clock. It is a rooster. Far away, a single rooster calls into the darkness. After a few moments, another answers from a distant farm. Soon, several calls echo gently across the valley, rising and fading like slow waves. The villager begins to wake. He does not rise immediately. Instead, he listens. He hears the soft breathing of his family, the faint wind outside, and the quiet creak of wooden beams settling overhead. Morning comes slowly in this world. He sits up and pulls on simple linen clothing. The fabric is rough compared to modern cloth, but strong and long-lasting. Nearly everything he owns was made by hand, either by his family or by someone living nearby. Before eating, before speaking, he steps outside. The air is cold and clean. Above him stretches a sky filled completely with stars. Without city lights, the night sky appears bright and endless. The Milky Way spreads across the darkness like a pale, drifting cloud. He walks to the stone well beside the house and lowers a wooden bucket with a rope. The rope slides and creaks softly as it unwinds. The bucket touches the water below. He pulls it back up and washes his face. The water is freezing, and it gently clears the last traces of sleep. Nearby, a donkey shifts quietly in its shelter, and a goat's bell gives a soft, metallic sound as it moves. The animals must be fed first. He brings hay to the donkey and the goats. They chew calmly, unhurried, steam rising faintly from their breath in the cool air. Inside the house, a fire is being prepared. Lighting a fire is an important daily task. Dried grass and small twigs are arranged with care. A spark is coaxed into a glow, and gentle breath slowly turns it into a steady flame. Soon, the soft crackling of fire fills the room and brings warmth to the cool morning. Breakfast is simple. Dark barley bread, a small piece of cheese, sometimes olives. Coffee is rare and expensive. Most mornings begin only with water and food. The family eats quietly. The day ahead will be long, and conversation is never hurried. Silence is familiar here, and comfortable. As the sun finally rises, golden light spreads across the hills. Low fog rests over the fields, and the earth glows softly in the early morning air. The villager gathers his wooden tools and steps onto the path leading away from the house. The ground is firm beneath his feet. The route is familiar. There is nowhere else he needs to be. And as he walks toward the fields, the valley begins to fully wake around him. The land opening itself to another slow, ordinary day. The villager walks along the narrow path as the sun rises higher. This land is in Minho, a place of green hills, gentle rain, and fertile soil. Stone walls line the fields, carefully stacked without mortar. They were built by hands like his, patient hands, over many generations. Birds begin to stir. Small brown birds hop between the branches of chestnut and oak trees, calling softly to one another. Their sounds are light and unhurried. The villager reaches the field. Here, the earth is dark and rich. The soil holds moisture from last night's dew, and it presses gently under his feet. He sets down his tools, a wooden hoe, a simple iron blade, worn smooth from years of use. He works slowly. There is no reason to rush. Each movement follows a rhythm learned over a lifetime. Lift, press, pull, lift, press, pull. The sound of metal touching earth is soft and steady. More. As he works, his thoughts drift. He does not think in long plans or distant futures. His world is close and immediate. The weather, the soil, the health of his animals, the coming harvest. Occasionally, he pauses. He straightens his back and looks across the valley. Mist still lingers in the low places, drifting lazily like pale smoke. Sunlight touches the tops of trees first, then slowly reaches the fields below. Somewhere far away, church bells ring, not loud, not urgent, just a reminder of time passing. He removes his cap and stands quietly for a moment, listening as the sound fades into the hills. Then gently, he returns to his work. By midday, the sun has warmed the land. The villager wipes his brow with the back of his hand and gathers his tools. It is time to return home. As he walks, he passes other fields. Other villagers work nearby, but words are few. A nod, a quiet greeting. Nothing more is needed. The village itself is small. Stone houses cluster together, their roofs made of heavy clay tiles. Smoke drifts slowly from a few chimneys, rising straight into the calm air. Children sit in the shade, playing with bits of wood and smooth stones. Their laughter is soft, never loud enough to disturb the peace. A woman draws water from a shared well. The bucket creaks, just as it did at his own home earlier that morning. He stops briefly to drink. The water is cool and clean. No one checks the time. There are no clocks here, only the sun and the bells. Midday food is simple. A piece of bread, perhaps a boiled onion, a fig if the season allows. He eats slowly, sitting on a stone near the edge of the village. The warmth of the sun rests gently on his shoulders. For a short while, nothing is required of him. This pause is part of life, just as important as the work itself. The afternoon brings different tasks. Wood must be gathered, fences repaired, tools sharpened. He walks into a small grove nearby. The ground here is shaded, cool beneath tall trees. Leaves rustle softly above him, stirred by a mild breeze from the Atlantic. He selects fallen branches, never cutting more than needed. Each piece of wood is lifted, tested, and stacked carefully. There is a deep familiarity in these motions. His father did this, and his father before him. The sound of distant water reaches his ears, a stream flowing over stones, endlessly patient. As the sun lowers, shadows grow longer. Light filters through the leaves, creating shifting patterns on the ground. The villager pauses again. He listens. The land speaks quietly, if one knows how to hear it. By evening, smoke rises once more from the chimney of the small stone house. Inside, the fire crackles gently. The family gathers close, sharing warmth as daylight fades. A simple stew simmers slowly. Grains, vegetables, perhaps a small piece of salted meat saved for such moments. They eat together. No one hurries. Outside, darkness returns to the valley. Stars appear one by one, just as they did the night before. After the meal, the villager steps outside once more. The air is cool again now. Crickets sing softly, their rhythm steady and soothing. He looks toward the hills of Minho, barely visible in the moonlight. Tomorrow will be much like today, and that is enough. He returns inside, lies down on the straw mattress, and pulls the wool blanket close. The fire fades to glowing embers. Breathing slows. Thoughts drift. History moves on. But for now, this quiet life rests peacefully in the dark. Night deepens. The fire has gone quiet now, reduced to a faint glow beneath pale ash. Inside the small house, the air is warm and still. The villager sleeps on his side, breathing slow and steady. Each breath rises and falls without effort. Outside, the valley rests. No carts move along the dirt paths. No voices carry through the darkness. Only the distant sound of water flowing somewhere unseen. A soft breeze brushes the olive trees, and their leaves whisper gently against one another, over and over, like a lullaby learned long ago. Time stretches. There is no urgency in the night. The stars continue their slow movement across the sky, unseen by human eyes, but steady and eternal. This is how nights have passed for centuries, quietly, patiently, without interruption. As the villager sleeps, his mind wanders, not in sharp thoughts, but in soft impressions. Fields warmed by sunlight, the weight of tools in his hands, the familiar path beneath his feet. Dreams here are simple. There are no loud noises, no sudden awakenings, only fragments of daily life drifting together like mist. In his dream, the land remains unchanged. The hills roll gently into one another. The soil remains dark and fertile. The animals move calmly through their routines. Even dreams follow the same rhythm as waking life. Slow, predictable, safe. A distant owl calls. Once, then again. The sound fades, and the night closes softly around it. Hours pass. The sky begins to shift, almost imperceptibly. Darkness lightens at its edges, though the stars still shine clearly. The air cools. Dew forms once more on grass and stone, settling gently without sound. Inside the house, the villager stirs, not awake yet, just a slight change in breathing, a small movement beneath the blanket. The world prepares itself for another day. Somewhere far away, a rooster calls early, unsure if the moment has has arrived. Silence answers. Then patience. Slowly, very slowly, morning arrives again. The horizon softens. Shadows lose their sharpness. The villager opens his eyes. There is no surprise in waking, no resistance. This is simply what happens next. He lies still for a moment, listening. The house creaks softly as it cools from the night. A goat shifts outside. Wind brushes past the shutters. Another day begins exactly where the last one ended. He rises. Clothing is pulled on in familiar motions. Nothing new is required. Outside, the sky glows faintly, colored with pale blues and gentle gold. The well waits. The animals wait. The land waits. And so life continues, day after day, season after season. There are years of good harvests and years of struggle, but through it all, the rhythm remains. Work, rest, sleep. No one writes his name in books. No paintings capture his face. Yet this quiet life becomes part of something larger. Each stone placed, each field tended, each morning greeted without complaint. This is history too. Not loud, not grand, but steady and real. And as you listen now, as your breathing slows, as your thoughts grow softer, you are sharing this stillness. You are resting within a life long past, yet peaceful enough to remain. There is nothing more to do, nothing more to follow, only rest, only quiet, only sleep. The night stays calm and everything rests quietly now.